those things. It was mostly me talking over you, so I apologize.
No problem. Well, just to put things in context for the recording purpose, here we are. So what I did is I created these rectangles mostly throughout the process, and I have also reduced the opacity of the image by going to the appearance panel and then changing the opacity of this. The same can be also accessed by just selecting the image from layers panel, unlocking it, clicking on this dot here, and then accessing the opacity property from the properties panel. So after that, I have used rectangle tool and just made the corners beveled by using the handles which appear after selecting the rectangles. So we have drawn a bigger rectangle. Inside that, we have created two partitions with the help of rectangle, and then I had created the circle. While creating the
And
circle,
yeah,
yeah,
and
while creating,
you use Alt and
yeah,
Shift to allow to copy and align the rectangles.
correct, correct. And while creating the circle, I have used Alt and Shift again to ensure that the circle is originating from the center, and that is possible because I have hold Alt while doing that. And if you add Shift along with Alt, it will make sure that you get a circle, not an ellipse. It constrains the proportion basically. Now I have the task of creating concentric circles, and there are many advanced ways to do it, but I think for our purposes, I'll simply use copy and paste. So I'm gonna say Control C on the keyboard, but instead of using Control V for pasting, I'll use Control F. Control F is the shortcut for paste in front. The good thing about Control F is that it exactly remembers from where the content is copied and it pastes them on the same coordinate. I'll show you the difference. When I say Control V, what
So
happens?
control plus F equals pasting to front.
Paste into front. Yes, correct. You also have a shortcut Control B, which pastes in the back. Then you also have Control Shift V, and then you also have Control Alt Shift V. So there are many types of pastes in Illustrator, but we are just going to look at Control
Uh,
F right now, and
And then
just to
control V paste it to the behind.
no
V
Control
like
V, no Control V, Control B, B for Bombay, B for back.
oh B for Bombay. Okay.
Yeah, so
And
Control B is for um, let me show you. In the edit menu, you will get all the commands. So paste is there, paste in front is there, paste in back is there, paste in place is there, paste on all artboards are there. So
okay,
the
thank you.
whole list is
I didn't,
there.
I didn't realize there were so many different types of pasting. Okay.
Yeah. So we are just gonna use, I'll show you the difference first. If I say Control C and Control V, see the circle gets pasted in the center of the viewport. So this whole white screen, white area is the viewport, and it will paste it in the center of the viewport. This is not what we want, right? We want the same thing exactly on the same place so that we can reduce the size of it, right? So I'll say Control F. Now seems as if nothing happened, but actually, if I click and drag, I have two circles on top of each other superimposed. Okay, I'm gonna say Control Z to cancel that movement, and now I want to reduce the size of the circle to make the concentric circles. So in order to do that, what we have to do is drag this from any of the corners, hold Alt on the keyboard so that the transformation happens from the center, right? If you don't hold Alt, this is how the transformation is going to happen. I don't want that. I want it to happen from the center, but I also want to constrain the
Hold
proportion of it.
shift as well.
Yeah, and if I hold Shift as well, then it constrains the proportion also, and then I see that there is some deviation, right, some deviation, because the way the picture has been photographed is different. We are creating a more accurate 2D representation of the artwork which is there at the back. So we will just use the artwork as a reference and build our own on top of it. Okay, so I have reduced the size of it, and then again I'm going to say Control C to copy the smaller circle, and say Control F once again, and then reduce the size of the third circle which I have made again. Now while I do so, let me quickly hide the layer and then show you the difference between three circles we have created. Notice that the thickness of the line is also getting reduced as I do so. Okay, that's happening because of one particular setting. To go to that setting, you can say Control K on the keyboard, and there you see that option which says Scale, Stroke, and Effects. If this option is on, if you do the transformation along with the shape, the stroke's thickness is also going to get affected. Not just the stroke thickness, but also the effects applied on it is going to be scaled. Okay, so you can leave it on or off, but just be aware of it that this option is there.
So it's
Now,
scale, strokes, and effects.
yeah, this one.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So now I want the thickness of all the circles to be same. To get that, I just have to select the circles, hold, select all the circles which I want of the same thickness, and hit I on the keyboard to bring up eyedropper tool. I is a hotkey. Just hit I on the keyboard to bring the eyedropper, and then click on the outer circle which has the thickness which I want to copy. You click on that, right? And then you see that the thickness of this is copied to these circles also. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring back the image which is there at the background, and we have two concentric circles. Okay. So far so good. Let's quickly do this small rectangle here also. And for that, I'm gonna go to the rectangle tool, click and drag, and just round it a little bit. Okay. So the purpose here is to just be able to take the reference of the image which is there, and from time to time, it's a good practice that you select everything, hold Alt on the keyboard, and see what you have made so far. Okay. So I think we are doing good so
You had
far.
to select everything to do that.
Yeah. I
You
just
selected
dragged.
everything.
Yeah, I just clicked and dragged to make a marquee around everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then held Alt and then dragged it to make a copy. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Now, do you want me to show a little advanced tricks also, or right now just basic is fine.
You could show me the advanced tricks uh and if
Okay.
somebody needs to go to advanced, I can show them.
Uh, okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'll make a select everything, right? But I have not selected the image behind it. Make sure that it's locked, and then you select everything. Then press F8 on the keyboard. F8 will bring up this symbols option, and there I'll just call it radio because it's the radio and it's the first radio, so I'll call it radio 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna enable guides for 9 slice scaling up. No, that would be too advanced. Let's not do that. So I'll just create a movie clip of this. Now you see a tiny plus sign appearing there. That means it's a movie clip now, and I can make another instance of the movie clip. I'm not copying it, but rather making an instance of it. Okay, and that way, if I go inside this and I do any changes to this and come out, the changes will reflect here also. Okay, so what this will help me to do is quickly be able to understand whatever I'm doing, how it's reflecting in the uh, you know side by side comparison will be easier for me basically. So I can go inside this and I can continue editing it further. So I can copy this, Control C, say Control F, and make the circle in the center. Okay, and if I go double click and come outside, I'll see that happening here also. So here I am not able to actually see what's coming out, and all the time copying and making a version of it here just to be able to see how it looks
Mhm.
is a little clumsy approach. So this movie clip thing is gonna work out fine. But We have to ensure that whatever we are editing is happening inside the movie clip. So right now, if I make anything or add anything, let's say I add a handle to it, now that's not going to reflect here because I have done it outside the movie clip. So what I have to do is double click on this, and then when you see this says radio 01 view, and you will also see this line, the green line. If it's a movie clip, it will be represented by the green line, and also you can memorize the symbol. This is the symbol of a movie clip. And now if I make any changes here, so for example, let's add legs to it. So there are a couple of legs. I'm just going to use the rectangle and you know, it's just the bottom two. So hold shift and click bottom two, and I'm gonna curve it a little bit to make this. And then I can make a copy of it by holding alt and shift together and move to the next leg. Okay, yeah, it's recording. And so as long as I'm inside it, the changes will not reflect. But if I double click to come outside, you will see that the changes is reflecting here also. Okay, all right. Uh, you there, Lisa?
Yep, I'm following.
Okay. So now we have acquired the basic details. Uh, Now we can work on the dial. Now before I start with the dial, I want to show you how we are going to make it. We are going to make it with the rotation tool and lines. Okay. So let's first do it here, some practice, and then we will implement it here. So I can start with a straight line. Okay. And I want the line right now, it's very sharp, right? It's almost like a rectangle. I want it beveled on both the sides. So for that, I can select, go to the stroke settings, and click on this icon here, the second icon in the cap settings, round cap, which gives me a rounded, appearance for the line on both the sides. That's one thing. Second thing is I want to rotate it along a point, right? So the point should be exactly in alignment with this line. What I mean is, if I use the rotate tool by clicking here, you can select the rotate tool, make sure that this icon is selected. And if you just click once, okay, then it will set the axis of rotation or pivot point, basically, not the axis of rotation, pivot point. If I click here, I'll never be sure if I have managed to align this line with this, because see what happens. Next time I click, it's gonna start rotating it. Okay, now it looks fine, but just imagine if I accidentally am not able to. Let me switch on the cap settings. If I accidentally end up clicking here and then rotate, I'll not be able to achieve the
Click
desired
where?
result
Where did you click?
here. It
Okay, you
has to
clicked on.
be exactly in alignment with this, and that can you can click as many as times you want, and wherever you will click, the line is going to rotate along with that. So the idea here is to be able to decide a pivot point, okay, and then rotate the line along that pivot point. So something like this, I'm holding alt and shift both, shift to constrain the degree, which is minus 45 degree, and alt so that I make a copy of it. And once I have it, all I have to do is press Ctrl D multiple times to get the repetition.
Right, slow down. So rotate tool, alt and shift to um rot
Yeah,
to
I'll break it
rotate.
again. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah. So we will do the right way. First, you create a line, a vertical line, then press Control R on the keyboard. The rulers will show up. You click on that, for the vertical ruler, just click on that and then drag to grab a guide line. Okay, and since we have the guideline now, I can use the rotate tool and precisely click on top of the guideline because the tooltip will show me if I am on top of the guide or not. Okay, and then just click once. You have set the pivot point. Now you can click anywhere and then drag to rotate it along. Okay, so if you don't hold Alt, it allows you to rotate the selected object. But if you hold Alt, it allows you to make a copy of it, right? But if I just make a copy of it randomly without realizing the degree, and it also shows you the degree, see in the tooltip. So if I want to rotate it at 30 degrees, I can get that, right? See, it's little difficult to get precise, but I think 30.77 is also fine. Let's try to get as close as we can. Uh, yeah, 30.05 is too good. So I'll just let go of my mouse key and let go of the Alt key. So now I have a shortcut Control D which repeats the last action. Okay, so I'm gonna say Control D and it will repeat my last
It's
action, which was
it's Control D, not Command D, right?
it's Command D. Yes, it's Command D. For me, it's Control. For you, it's Command. For Mac, it's Command D.
So to repeat.
Yeah. So it repeats the last action. My last action was to copy it at 30 degrees rotation, right? So it remembered that, and next time I hit Command D, it keeps on repeating my last action. So that's what Command D does.
Okay.
Got that? Okay. So we'll use the same technique to create the dial here. Uh, Let me just get rid of this. And this guideline uh, is logged. So let's also learn how to deal with the guideline. So there are few ways how we can tackle this. We can right click on it and choose unlock guide. That's the easiest way to work with it. Or we can go to the view menu, go to the guides and then choose unlock guides. We can also use the shortcut Alt Control Option Command and semicolon. That will also do the same. Okay, but for now I'm just going to right click on this and unlock the
Can I
guide.
can I ask you a question? Have you worked with the new Mac mouses? They're
uh,
just
the-
like there's no right click, left click. Maybe you can right click, left click on them. I'm not sure.
no, you can
They're just
right click on them. You can right click
they're just
on them.
one smooth plastic thing.
You see, the right click and left click both works. You just have to intuitively press on the right side of the mouse and it will give you the right click moment. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that works. It doesn't have a scroll thing, I guess. Scroll is not there.
Yeah, it's just it's funny because like I'm teaching them from my laptop, but they're
Mhm.
using the mouse, but I haven't used that mouse as much as they are using it. So it's weird to
Okay.
tell them what to do when I'm not. I feel like as a teacher, I should have the same kind of computer as they do, so it's more
Yeah,
intuitive.
yeah.
But anyway,
So the guideline, I want to just remove this and we can simply drag it back uh, here and it will disappear. Uh, but it has to be done very swiftly. And if it is giving you hard time, what you can do is just select this and hit delete on the keyboard and that will get rid of it. So now I want a guideline here in the center. And before that, we go inside by double clicking, select this, hit I on the keyboard and copy the thickness of this stroke to the center as well. And then I'm going to drag a guideline from the ruler and stick to the center of it. Okay. I want this guideline because I want to create this tile, right? And then I'm gonna use the line tool and create a line. Now it does not have any fill or stroke applied to it, so we have to hit D on the keyboard to give it the default color and then make sure that there is no fill, and then go to the strokes panel and play around with its thickness.
How did you
So
get
I
it to
can,
be the default? Just D, the hotkey?
yeah, just D. That's it. Okay.
For default fill.
Yeah. Now go to the strokes panel and then I'm gonna reduce the thickness to zero point 0.5, or maybe I'll keep it to 0.75 for the sake of simplicity. And then click on this stroke, the word stroke here. See, you can get these settings by going to the strokes panel or clicking here. Both has the same thing. Okay.
Yeah,
So as long
yep.
as you are in the strokes panel, you should be able to find out the cap settings and make it round cap. I think thickness would be reduced to zero point 0.5. Yeah, this makes more sense. And now you go to rotate tool and then hover till the time you find the center. So you just run along the guide, and if you can't find the center here, if that is a challenge because we have to find the center, what we can do is drag another guide, and we can do that by selecting this object first, then going to the guide. Selecting the object will make sure that the center appears, and drag the horizontal guide and then keep it exactly on the center. So now if I select this object, the line, and click on the rotate tool, I should be able to find the intersection. It will automatically say intersect, and we know that there is the center. So we just click once to set the pivot point and repeat the process we have learned earlier, and we can simply hold Alt and then drag it. Now, depending upon how many we want it, I think we want it around 15 degrees. Yeah, so it says 14.98. I think that should work, right? And leave it, let go of the mouse button, let go of your keyboard or option key, and then press Command D to make a nice tile. And I'm pressing Command D again and again till the time I got all the lines. To quickly check how it looks, I'm gonna go out of it by double clicking, and then I see it's looking fine. This is what I wanted. Now I see there are more complicated stuff. There are some lines inside this also. Now there are many advanced ways to do it also. Uh, but, but do you want me to cover the advanced stuff right now?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
this
this
is like,
is good,
I
right?
think this is way enough advanced for them. I mean, what
Okay.
they could do is do the little lines inside,
Mm-hmm.
like, but using the same. I think it's better to reinforce the same skill.
Correct. I also feel so
So they
because
could
yeah,
make that one and then make the other one and repeat that.
right. Because if I let me just quickly take this, remove it from here, and you see there are many complicated things, but they follow the same
Yeah,
principle, which is to repeat it, right?
yeah.
uh, yeah, so if they can do this and apply themselves and also improvise a little bit for creating this, which we will do, let's complete this. So we'll go inside the smart object.
Can we
uh,
can you show me how to make the numbers? I think they would like to make the numbers.
okay. uh, the guides, right, something is off now. I'm inside this symbol, but why it's not showing up? There's something weird with my Illustrator today. Let me save this and try it again. What if I try? No, something is wrong. I'll have to restart Illustrator then again. The more things they are adding to these softwares, the more unstable versions are coming up.
Yeah. One of my students, the program is lagging a lot.
Hmm.
I mean, multiple students use these computers, and so I don't know if somebody's like downloaded something, but it's specifically in Adobe Illustrator
Hmm.
that one student's program is like lagging and they're not able to work on it.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure what how to fix it.
there are a few ways, increasing the scratch disk and all. So, but nowadays the program is not so stable actually. See, if it is giving me so much of hard time, I can imagine a beginner, dealing with it.
Oh, these kids
So
do crazy things.
yeah, but usually restarting the
When I
program takes care of that. Okay.
I did that. I restarted the computer and restarted the program. It still was lagging for that student.
Oh.
So not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I'll show you a cheat to tackle that towards the end of the season. So now again, what is wrong with this? Mm, just a second.
And also when I show them all these different panels,
Mhm.
they they will like do things like click all the buttons in them and
Yeah.
mess things up further. And then I'm like trying to help them undo it, and it's a hot mess because you know how much I know about this program.
Ah, no, that can be
And
taken care very easily by going to the Windows and workspace and reset workspace. So make sure that you are working on Essential Classics, and if they
essential
mess
class.
things up, yeah, uh, ensure that you are always working in Essential Classics. And
Okay.
when they mess things up, you just have to click on Reset Essential Classic, and it will
Okay.
just reset
Thank
everything.
you for showing me that because they do crazy things.
Yeah. Well, so I'm inside this again, and let me go inside the symbol. Yeah, and I'll just build up the remaining part quickly. I'll use the rectangle, keep it very simple. So,
Yeah.
okay, and click on this. If click on this handle, round it a little bit, and then make a copy of it so that I can have grab handles here. And
So
then,
you did that by hitting Alt,
yeah, Alt and Shift. Yeah,
Alt and Shift.
and for creating this curve style. Now, uh, for now, we will just improvise and keep it simple. So we will create another rectangle like so, uh, and make a copy of this one, and make a copy of this one. Control C and Control F, and reduce the thickness of it. Select this and elongate it. And as I do so, see the scale stroke effect is making the strokes thicker. I don't want that to happen. So I'll say Control K and switch off this scale stroke and effects, and then say
This is the
OK.
kind of stuff that they'll mess with.
Yeah, and then come back again, and then
I might have them just go to stroke and to fix it in stroke.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
So
want to show them this preference thing because they will go crazy and
okay.
click every
So
button.
yeah. So I want the strokes thickness to be same for this one, and this one. So I'll select this, say I on the keyboard, click on this, and then I want to make sure that it's merged together. So I'm gonna select this, shift click on this one, shift click on this one, and go to the pathfinder. To bring the pathfinder, you can just find it in the docs, or you can hit Command Shift F9 on the keyboard, or go to the Windows and find pathfinder.
How do you get this menu here that you have?
This doc
This yeah.
in the essential classic, these are already there. If you can't find it,
Okay.
it's very easy. You just go to the Windows, open up that, and click and drag it in the docket. That's all you have to do. Okay.
Wait, okay. Say that again. You go to Windows.
So I'll show you. Oh, wait. If you have accident, see this is how it opens, right? So this is the
Okay, so you're
docket.
gonna do
Okay. You can simply click and then drag it, and it will dock itself here.
yeah, mine
Uh, if you have a
mine looks like
smaller,
the panel that's over here. Like the
uh,
panel that's all the way to the right hand side. I
uh-huh.
don't know how to get the one that's slightly to the left.
You can arrange the panels the way you want. And in a smaller screen sizes, 14 inches, it will not show up. Okay.
Okay.
So I
Like
have
I know
all,
how to go to window and drag it. Do the Pathfinder thing, then we'll do the windows.
yeah. So all three of these are selected. I just have to come here and unite all three of them.
Merge. Okay.
And now you can see the handle looks nice. And we have to round off these corners. So I'm gonna go to the second tool, which is direct selection tool, and then you see these corners will appear. So I'm gonna click once on this, then shift click, come here, shift click here. I'm zooming in and zooming out by holding alt on the keyboard, option for you, and scrolling.
Okay.
If the scroll
Let me
key is not there, you can use control minus and control plus. Okay,
okay. So let me just repeat the zooming. So control, is it control or command?
it's command plus and command minus.
Command plus and
Command
command
minus.
minus. And then also you said there's another way to do it.
Uh, See, for the Mac, I'll tell you the safest way to do it. Hold. Do you have the scroll key? Do you have the scroller in the mouse?
There's no scroller in the
There
mouse.
is
It's
no
just a
scroller.
it's just
Yeah.
it's a new the new
So
one.
use command plus and command minus. And if you want to pan inside the document, hold space bar and then click and then drag to move. That's what you can do.
Okay. So space bar
Hold space
plus
bar and click and
uh-huh.
drag. Yeah, hold space bar and click and drag. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I have selected these two, so I'm just gonna click on OK. Let me just again select. So I'll select this one once and then go to this side. Shift click on this one and then click and drag to make slightly curved. Then click once on this. Go to the other side. Shift click on this and click and drag. Okay. And then we have yeah. Uh, or even if they do it one by one, that is fine. So
Yeah,
they just have to, yeah, they just have
as
to
long as
click
they're
on,
learning how to use these little things.
yeah, so they have to click once and to select and then do it. So this gives us a nice,
Click once to select it and then move it.
yeah, yeah,
No
that's the way.
no buttons are touched.
Yeah, the symbol thing is doing a lot of matter. So let me just break apart the symbol. Let me just break link to the symbol. Forget about that. Let's get rid of the symbol. Keeps things simple. And get rid of the guide also. So this is what we have managed to create with just rectangle and circle tools. Okay, if they are able to do this much, we should be glad.
Yes.
Uh, and they can move to the more complicated stuff. Here we have more, shapes, and if
Yeah.
they
And they
can
can
do,
always like, if the ones that are going advanced, I could say, can you just show me quickly how to put the numbers on? Like if they want to add numbers?
yeah. So putting numbers would be little advanced, but I'll show you. So numbers
Okay.
can be done by using. Let me show you on the side first. Uh, just a second.
Because they just have to follow the path of the circle, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the meeting will be over in 1 minute. You'll have to rejoin again. Just
We
remind
can,
everybody.
no, it's okay. I will tell them that we're going to do numbers and text later. We could do
Uh,
that next class.
yeah, that is actually
If
nice
they can
because
get it, if they can get this far, and then the ones
uh-huh.
that finish this, I will tell them to go down to the next radios.
Okay,
So,
that works then.
and then they should do the third radio, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh.